That season of transitioning, the quintessential way of going from the winter to the spring to the summer to making plans for the rest of the year. Now that we are fully into 2025, you're feeling like never before has summer felt so heavy in the sense of expectations of what we need to perform as parental roles and providing experiences in the sports realm, or preparing academically for actually going to school, or the transition from high school to college and what that all entails. And I can only give to you my bits of wisdom that I've learned, but also the encouragement of, for one, that you can survive and live, but also the tidbits of what I would maybe do differently and what I would encourage you to remember. Let's dive in. So, at this stage of the game, when we are in the springtime of our lives in 2025, as mothers, we tend to look to what are the summertime activities for our children. Is that going to be camp? Is that going to be going away for soccer at a local college that your children are going to be staying overnight? Or are your little ones going to be doing sport camps this summer? The list goes on of the possibilities. And one of the things I really love is the quietness of car rides with my kids and the sweetness of the honesty that comes forth when the conversation doesn't feel so heavy, doesn't feel so pointed. I remember family meetings, and my experience wasn't very enjoyable. So sometimes parents, even well-intentioned, can come across as a little aggressive of getting the truth out of their kids, and there's not enough space of giving honesty a chance to come forth, right? In the salon world, we call this the consultation. So, and creating an environment in which a guest who has chosen us to be a stylist, so that creating an environment of honesty so that they can tell us the truth of what they want, and share with us their goals, hair goals, makeup goals, that kind of thing. The same holds true when it comes to our kids, of cultivating an atmosphere in which they can tell the truth of the things that are important to them, and you're able to also parentally insert where you would like them to grow or to experience in things this summer. So that communication and having a safe space in which to have a conversation is vitally important and cannot be underestimated. So I encourage you all to have those car ride combos, or in recognizing those moments of sweet opportunity to ask our kids questions about their futures and things that they might enjoy experiencing this summer. Pull out your calendars. I had great advice from my husband in raising our family, in which he said, decide some of these things because you want them to look forward to those things on the calendar. And if you are so spontaneous, sometimes I am, it doesn't have the buildup of anticipation in a good way of looking forward to something. And sometimes we can steal that from them. And maybe it's because we're watching our own finances and we're like, I don't know if I can pull this off. And other times it's because there are other circumstances of if I can get the time off to even drop off little junior to soccer camp every morning, and that's kind of up in the air. So sometimes we do spring things on our kids. Maybe we all should call it something. Give it a conversation and a time in which they too can plan. So let's give you guys an example of this. Hey kids, Dad and I want to do Friday pizza night a little bit different this week. And we want each of you to come with 3 things that you guys want to do this summer. Or let's even say spring break if you guys are still planning spring break. so that they have that buildup of what you guys are going to talk about. Because, oh my gosh, have you ever guys had it where you've received a text, whether it's from your kid or it's from your own parent, or it's in a career situation in which we need to talk? Would you be available for a meeting tomorrow? I have some things I need to share, right? Oh, hate that. So do ourselves the favor and maybe do our children the honor and respect, let's just say respect, in which they know what the said meeting is about, because I feel like that's just a kind thing to do, and allow them to have the anticipation of discussing plans that you guys get to make together, and that it can be fun, and start plotting those things. And as a couple, decide, when the kids are home, should we plan things for twice a month? What would that be? I can give you an example of something that does not cost money and is really simple. But on Sunday afternoons, we would go to the beach and we would say to ourselves, we're just walking 30 minutes south on the beach. And once we hit that 30 minutes, we're just going to go back. And sometimes it was just that we were in kind of a rut where Dad and I, my husband and I, were working a lot of hours, and we should and needed to be outside in nature, but we also needed to be with our kids and connect. And yet our brains were really struggling to shift because there was a lot that was weighing on our shoulders. That easy breezy 30-minute walk on the beach in one direction, if it ends up being longer than it is, and if anything, though, we have to make that 30 minutes and then it becomes a full hour. And there were some sweet conversations that were had, keeping it simple, but those are really sweet, innocent moments. And to cultivate that space of safety that they can speak their minds is really stunning. So I encourage you, my friends, to start looking ahead and start planning, and maybe even start journaling, so that you can get all of your thoughts out and all of your expectations that are kind of bubbling up inside of you. And so that when you have the conversation actually with your children, your family, with your employees, perhaps in meetings, so that you don't overwhelm them with all of your thoughts. I'm really grateful to have adopted the lesson of journaling is amazing, because it's only for my eyes, and no matter how tedious it might be or repetitive, it's just that the things that I need to get out of my brain and on paper and digest and work through, so that then approaching meetings or conversations or talks or toasts, hey, giving a toast at a party, my brain is clear and able to take in the moment and read the room, and to speak from the heart, and to address things that should be and need to be. I hope that you enjoyed this episode of the Quinn Essential Life of living a life authentically and one with no regrets. I'm on Instagram at quinn.vise, and I welcome the conversation of entrepreneurship with motherhood in tow. What are you facing this year? What are you proposing for your family to experience? And maybe what are some of the challenges that you're having right now in getting it all done? Love chatting with you, friends. I can't wait to hear from you, and I hope you enjoy this episode of starting to plan ahead. Talk soon.